Okay, well, happy Wednesday. It's February. I don't even know what day it is. It's February the 18th, and actually, it's February the 19th. That tells you how crazy my day has been. So, we're here in North Dallas, Texas, where it is cold and it's just not very pleasant outside. So, in this live broadcast, I am going to go over four different things. We're going to talk about the real estate market here in North Dallas, Texas. We're going to talk about what buyers need to know, what sellers need to know, and watch through this entire live stream because I want to touch on something that was brought to my attention about a week ago, that there is a movement here in the state of Texas to absolutely 100% eliminate property tax. And when I first heard about this elimination of property tax, I thought, well, how can this be? Those of you on YouTube, quite a few of you have watched my homestead exemption updates and different things of how to save money on property tax and protect yourself from creditors in regards to the homestead tax exemption. But you've never heard me talk about eliminating property tax. So I'm going to take a dive into the movement right now and the bill that is being presented at our Capitol of how to actually eliminate property tax forever. So stick with me. I'm going to get to that. Let's start out with what's going on in the market right now. So what we have happening in the market right now in Frisco, Texas, in North Dallas, Texas, in the city of Frisco, is we're seeing that the median list price is $760, but the median price of new listings is $649,000. So we have a couple of things happening in Frisco is we have lower priced homes that are being listed and we're seeing the market soften. So this is important for sellers and for buyers to understand that how the market is getting a little bit softer right now. Now, some of it is seasonal because it's winter and prices and activity pick up in the spring. But I want to show you something that's really important right now in regards to the market here in Frisco, Texas, of how this could be the norm. So important for sellers and buyers to know. Look at this section right here where it says price per square foot is $255, which hasn't changed much, but average days on market are 103 days, with the median days on market being 77. So what does that mean across the board? What that means is that truly, I've been saying this for a while, but the days of listing your property and having it sold in a matter of minutes for above appraised value are long gone. I've been saying they've been long gone for over a year, but we're truly seeing this happen. So for sellers, you've got quite a few things to think about, and buyers as well, which I'm going to get to here in a moment. I want to run through a couple more areas of North Dallas, Texas. When we switch over to Prosper, Texas, what we're going to see is that the average, the median list price is $879, but the median price on new listings is $875. So it's not softening as much in Prosper, but it's still getting soft. We're used to seeing Prosper prices are substantially higher. So again, this has to do with lower price homes hitting the market and the market softening. Now let me show you this as well. The average days on market in Prosper are 113, with the median days on market being 91. Look at this, 48% of the inventory has decreased their price. The reason for these price decreases are a couple of reasons. One is sellers are still not understanding that you have to price aggressively. You can't just put a price on a home and expect people to pay that price. You have a couple reasons why you can't do this. Number one, interest rates are higher. And number two, you're competing against builders. And builders are pricing here and offering all these incentives. And by the time they're done, they're making their numbers work for the builder. Another side note to think about is that builders right now are offering incentives to real estate agents to actually bring clients to the builder. That's usually an indication that the market is softening, because I can tell you in my experience, when the market is humming along and everyone's selling homes really quick, the builders don't want to pay realtors anything, like 1%, and some are zero. So keep that in mind when you're looking at homes as a buyer and as a seller. Remember that the builder is your competition. Let me look at a couple of more areas here in North Dallas, Texas. And if there are areas that you'd like me to run reports for you specifically, leave a comment below or reach out to me direct, and I will run a specific report for your city or for your particular home. But let's move on to the path of progress, Salina, Texas. Look what's happening in Salina, Texas. The median list price is $610, but the median price of new listings is $625. Price per square foot is staying about the same, and average days on market are a 56. Now, if you've been watching this video thus far, you'll see this market action index, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So what we're seeing in Salina is, since it is the path of progress where people are moving and there's a lot of new construction, we're seeing that the numbers are increasing slightly. This has to do with the builders adjusting their price to offer incentives and then buying down interest rate points, which I'll get to a little bit more when I have tips for buyers. So you're seeing the prices go up a little bit, and a lot of this has to do with the builders increasing their price. Let's go to one more area. Let's look at Little Elm, Texas. So Little Elm is your median list price is $466, with the median price of new listings being $442. The price per square foot is $203, but here's the big one again. The median days on market are 84 days. Again, you're seeing the market soften. Even in Salina, we're seeing it soften because we're not seeing prices skyrocketing anymore. So let's talk directly about what sellers can expect when selling their home in the market today. Sincerely, you're going to see, according to our data, that you're going to have much higher days on market than what you're used to. So long gone are the days of a week to 2 weeks being on the market, unless you price aggressively. So sellers, when you're getting ready to sell your property, the most important thing next to pricing is presentation of your property. Your home has to compare or be better than new construction models. And it doesn't matter what city you're in, even if you're in an area like Frisco where there's not a lot of new construction, there still is new construction. But compared to Salina, it's a large percentage is new construction. If you're reselling your home as a seller, you've got to make sure that your home is as nice or nicer than the models, because that is presentation. And how I'm explaining this to sellers right now is, if you were buying a car and the car was dirty and it needed new tires, do you think you're going to appeal to as many buyers as someone looking at a car that has been freshly detailed and has brand new tires on it, or someone that's looking at a brand new car? Of course not, because the car's dirty and the tires need to be replaced. So I want you to look at your house and say to yourself, put your buyer's hat on and say, how does this compare to new construction? Or how does this compare to the home down the street that is currently up for sale? Because buyers are looking at all the inventory now. They're not just going out and finding a home and writing offers to get in a home as quick as possible. Now, across the board, this is good news for buyers and sellers. I think we can all agree that prices are inflated. Everything is inflated across the country, from the price of eggs that we've heard about in the news to housing. It is expensive to buy a home. But let me talk directly to buyers on this point here. In my opinion, and I've been in the business a long time, owning a home, number one, it is a consistent monthly payment. So it's not like renting and your rent is going to increase every single year, every time that your lease expires. Number two, owning a home is the only way that you can have the possibility of gaining equity or having your money work for you. Now, I say the possibility because I truly think that we're seeing the market level off. So the days of making 10, 15, 20% in a year equity on a home, I think those are long gone. And I don't predict for buyers and for sellers that interest rates are going to come down. And that really is a topic for another live video or for another video on YouTube. And briefly, the reason why I think this is, number one, inflation is stuck where it's at, and the cost of living is kind of stuck where it's at, and the job market is still weak. So we can look at all the numbers we want to say the job market is great, so on and so forth, but things are still inflating, and the feds are not going to adjust interest rates until inflation gets under control. So let me speak to buyers and sellers both on this. The biggest thing that the banks are doing for buyers right now is they're offering a 2-1 buy down program. If you haven't seen my video, I've got one on YouTube. It talks about how to get your interest rate 2% below the going rate. This is what builders are advertising when they say, get into this home for 4.9% or 4.5% when interest rates are 6.5% or 7%. It is a temporary buy down. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. The way it works in a nutshell is the buyer has to qualify at today's rates, and then year one, they drop it 2%, and year two, they raise it up 1%. So you're getting in at 2% below today's rates, and the good news is that rate is locked in for the life of the loan. There's other intricate things and things you can do with this particular loan that are encouraging for buyers, which is in another video. But let me address buyers and sellers right now. If builders are doing a 2-1 buy down program, then sellers, as a seller, you have to consider a 2-1 buy down program. Again, we're comparing product. We're comparing a house that is resale and a house that's new construction. If your competition is the builders and they're offering this type of program, as a seller, you have to be prepared to have the ability or at least offer some type of program like this. Now, if you want more information on how to do this as a seller, reach out to me. I'll explain it in great detail. But for the sake of time, I want to move on to another topic, and that is this new movement in Texas. And let me pull it up because I want to show you this new movement in Texas to remove property tax. And I think if we remove property tax in Texas, this is going to absolutely trickle into other states. Property tax is one of the biggest taxes we have in our life as homeowners. And if you're a renter, you're affected by the property tax because rents are going to increase for the investor to make money. But I want to show you the screen. As I said earlier in the live stream, I've done a lot of stuff on homestead exemptions and 65 plus exemptions and veterans exemptions, a bunch of ways that people can save money here in Texas on their property tax. But there is this movement, and this was put together by Mitch Vexler. Mitch is a developer, he's a builder, he's in real estate, and he also has a massive background in finance, and you'll see here statistical probability, quantitative finance, et cetera, et cetera. This is a fantastic movement that we have going on here in Texas. What I'm going to do is in the YouTube video, there's going to be links in the video or in the description for you to be able to actually download this document and read more about it and actually get involved. And this is something that we're going to need massive involvement from everyone in the state to either get behind this or not get behind this. I will tell you personally, I'm behind this because homeowners are spending anywhere on an average of $7,000 a year on property tax. And the more expensive your home is, the higher the value, according to the appraisal district, the more that you're going to pay in tax. On average, we pay roughly 1.85 to 2% property tax every year. Now, those of you that aren't in Texas understand we don't have a state income tax. So one of the reasons I moved here years ago was to not have to pay state income tax, and because I really love Texas and the people here. Now, let's take this a step further. If we actually eliminate the property tax, we are saving each homeowner on an average of $7,000 a year. Now, the proposition goes on to explain how we're going to keep the state running and still have state-funded programs and like nothing should change in the state if it's done properly. What they will do is they will actually subsidize from the sales tax we currently have to fulfill the obligations of the state and the state RAM programs. I want to show you another screen here, which I found very important in this research that I've done, which was sent to me by Mitch directly, so I didn't just randomly pull stuff. I want to show you right here, I thought this was really important, that according to the path that we're on right now with our property tax, that roughly 37.81% of homeowners could face bankruptcy or foreclosure. And the reason for this is that the appraisal district reassess properties every single year. Now, the homestead property tax exemption is going to shield you from this, but it's not going to stop your property taxes from increasing. So again, the homestead property tax exemption, I have a video on that. If you want to watch that, it goes into great detail. But here's what hit me. If 37% plus homeowners in the state of Texas could face bankruptcy or foreclosure due to these taxes, how unfair is that to a homeowner? And how does that affect businesses and investors that are investing in rental properties? It makes it so difficult as an investor or a homeowner to pay these outrageous taxes. So let me go further into this document. I want to show you a couple of other things that were brought to my attention in these documents that I got from Mitch. And this is that from 2016 until 2023, we're seeing that inflation is hitting about 1.56 to 2.64. But our actual property taxes are increasing at a much faster rate due to the values of properties increasing. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. People moving here, first-time home buyers buying for the first time. I mean, there really is a mad rush to the state of Texas for people to get here for a lot of reasons. But if taxes and property values are increasing at a faster pace than inflation itself, I truly believe, in my opinion, we are faced with doom and gloom. We are homeowners, no doubt in my mind, according to this document, we're going to see 30% or more people financially in trouble. So in order to stop this, they put a bill together, ironically called the Vexler bill, to stop the property tax. And the way that they would do this is through a sales tax. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, they're going to increase our sales tax, which means everything we're purchasing is going to cost more money. Before we jump to that conclusion, understand that there is a $24 billion surplus right now in the state with regards to sales tax. When the sales tax comes in, there's a line item that each penny is allocated to. And right now we have $24 billion in surplus. So that money right there can go towards subsidizing or getting rid of our property tax. So again, I'm going to leave a lot of information in the description below. If for some reason the links don't work, feel free to reach out to me. The best way to reach out to me is to send me an email, troy@troysage.com. This way I can address you directly and get you the documents in which you want. The way that we're going to fight this is you're going to need to reach out to all of your local representatives. There is a letter that is pre-printed in Word that I can send you. You fill in your information, you send it out, and you get behind this movement. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do, because this is what I've been doing, is I'm calculating every single thing that I purchased during the year. How much am I paying in sales tax? And compare that to how much am I paying in property tax. And I have had people say to me on YouTube and reach out to me directly and say, I would much rather pay a higher sales tax than pay property tax every year. Now, the last thing that I want to say about this property tax is there was a buzz during the presidential election about the unrecognized gains. And the way that Mitch explains this in his document makes total sense to me, that paying property tax on a higher value of a property because it has appreciated in value is an unrecognized gain. Why would we pay tax on an unrecognized gain? Nobody wanted it during the presidential election. We definitely don't want it now. So I want to say hats off to Mitch and his accountant and the thousands of hours that they put into this. Thank you for all the research you've done. I think this is a great movement. And if you want to get behind this movement, check out the links I have or reach out to me. I'll connect you directly with Mitch, and you can go right to his website and get the ball rolling. But I think this is really, really important. Listen, I appreciate all of you being here watching this live. If you have any topics you'd like me to talk about, or you have specific questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is troy@troysage.com. Besides that, it is a cold day. I'm going to go back to having some more coffee. I'm going to try to stay warm, and I'll have more news for you soon. Have a great day.